What's up? Welcome back. I'm John Stark from MacTheMovieGuy.com, your favorite blind film critic, and today we're going to talk some Oscars and update some predictions following Globes slash Critics' Choice slash everything. Everything that we've had up to this point. I know. Okay, so there's a couple things depending on like who you watch and like what channel people, even me, like talk about things. My feeling is with all these precursor awards, uh, you have to take each one of them with grains, various grains of salt, sometimes more salt. But what they do is they help to push films that for people to watch. So, like, if you see a film that's getting nominated everywhere and you haven't seen it yet, it kind of motivates you to see it because it makes you feel like, well, that's not going to be time wasted because there are a lot of films that are being submitted. And let's be honest, AMPAS is full of people who actually fucking work in this business, and they don't have time to watch 100 movies so they can vote for the Oscars. So they're not going to vote for and watch fringy little movies that look like they're Oscar bait, but no one's picking up on them. I actually think these precursor awards help them get a little bit more in tune with that for things that they didn't see at a festival that they went to or a premiere they went to or whatever, and they're catching up on things and they're trying to decide which one of these movies do I want to watch, especially for films with cast members in it that are not these huge robust casts. Like sadly, I bet more people have seen House of Dynamite than have seen If I Had Legs I'd Kick You, simply because of the cast, and they know the people who have worked in the cast, and they worked with the people in the cast, and they know the director. If I Had Legs I'd Kick You is the directorial debut, and it stars Rose Byrne. Not that people don't like Rose Byrne, but I don't think Rose Byrne has worked with everyone in Hollywood. So it's nice that Rose Byrne is showing up everywhere because then it makes people go, huh, maybe there's something to this. So that's how you get If I Had Legs I'd Kick You in there. So that being said, let's talk about the best picture race. Where are we at? How are we doing? What are we looking like? Some things happened. Some things didn't happen. What does it all mean? Does it mean anything? Uh, where the fuck is Avatar? So, I know all these questions you're asking yourself. Number one is, of course, one battle after another, whether you want it to be or not. There isn't really anyone else who tries to tell you it's not number one is just lying because there isn't really anything to suggest that it's not number one yet. We haven't seen it winning any, like, other films aren't winning. Like, and One Battle seems to be sweeping. It's getting most of its nominees in everywhere. Like, it's not one of these films that's stumbling to try to get through the awards with like, oh well, I got a couple there and missed here and here and here and here, which is what a lot of the other nominees are facing is the selective nominees. It is seeming less and less likely to get two supporting actress nominations, with Regina Hall kind of losing the race. But Chase Infinity has been picking up a couple nominations. I think she has an outside chance at lead actress. I actually think she has a better chance of people just voting for her and supporting. But that's me. Anyway, but One Battle is definitely number one. It's sweeping right now. Something else has to catch fire for One Battle to lose Best Picture. Now, One Battle could win like picture, director, and no acting categories. Like that's totally feasible. It would be weird, but I'm not saying it's a lock for any acting categories. But yeah, I don't see it winning. I don't see anything else winning picture right now. Number two, I'm gonna move Sinners up because Sinners is actually doing a lot better than I thought. This was a film where I was like, yeah, it's gonna get nominated, but it's not gonna win. And it has done very well for itself so far. And I have no reason to believe it won't be nominated. And I don't see anything that specifically screams within striking distance of one battle after another right now. We'll talk about the other films as we go along, but I don't see anything else that feels like they're coming for one battle at all, except maybe Sinners because of the possibility of the amount of nominations it could get. So it could be a one battle versus Sinners. And while this would be a very inspired Best Picture choice, I just don't expect the Oscar voters to choose it. but it is looking more and more likely that Sinners, which has shown up as many places as it possibly can, will get, Ryan Coogler, probably Michael B. Jordan. It could get a supporting actor, supporting actress. It's going to get screenplay. It's going to get, uh, original song, uh, probably like production, costume design, cinematography, editing. I mean, it's in play for a lot of things. It might even slide to visual effects. So I mean, do I think people are more likely to vote for Sinners over Jurassic World Rebirth? Sure. I mean, one of those films is good, one of those films is not. So, so in third place, I have Marty Supreme. It slid to third because it's having a really hard time getting a supporting actress in, which is not a great sign for a movie to have power. Also, Josh Safdie is having a really hard time consistently making directors' races. The film is in fine position, but there's a real world where we wake up Oscar morning and like Marty Supreme is like picture, actor, and then like some tech categories because it's missed in screenplay. Like it missed screenplay at the Globes. I don't think that's gonna happen because the Globes is combined. So they had 6 spots, the Oscars had 10. So when you divide it, would Marty have been like if the Globes had nominated 10 screenplays, would Marty have gotten in? So that's the question. Not that they have overlapping voting members, but like how focused are people on the screenplay from Marty Supreme? But yeah, it has nomination potential in tech categories. I know people are obsessed about the score, so it could play there. I still think it's a solid choice, and A24 really doesn't have anything else to push. So they're doing this last stage for Marty Supreme because their other best choices are like making sure Rose Byrne gets that actress nomination, making sure Dwayne Johnson gets a lead actor nomination, a couple of things like that. That's where their campaign is narrowed down to. And A24 is pretty focused on getting Oscar nominations. They're kind of like Neon. They see themselves as prestige studios. Sony Pictures Classics also. Um, so they're going to put all their eggs into this basket heading into January. Once Marty opens, it's going to be full steam ahead. I don't think it's going to lose its best picture spot. So that's a pretty solid choice. Number four is Hamnet. I'm not 100% convinced that Chloe Zhao is a lock for Best Director. I just think Jessie Buckley is a lock for actress. And I'm pretty sure Paul Mescal is a lock for actor, although we've come down to where we pretty have a top six, and one of those people is going to get the nomination. It feels like Jacob Elordi doesn't get the nomination, but more on that in a minute. Um, yeah, I think Hamnet, which hasn't gotten everywhere, by the way. It was left out of at least one of the lineups for Pitcher. Um, but it's been doing pretty solid. And uh, Focus does have this and Begonia. And Begonia is not out of the race. So I think the balance is trying to run 2 campaigns for Hamnet and Begonia and seeing if you can get them both in. Hamnet does feel like the stronger movie. It feels Oscar baity. I kind of wonder how many nominations it'll get at the end of the day, though. I think it's kind of leveling out, and the only way that it can go up is starting to see wins for Jessie Buckley. But I think Rose Byrne has started to prove a legitimate contender for her in that race as well. So it may not be quite as easy for her to walk to the finish line in that category as it maybe perhaps was. Not that I think Rose Byrne is the front runner to win the Oscar, but if Jessie Buckley isn't sweeping, that's putting Hamnet sort of in a little bit of a disadvantage. But I'm still keeping it at four. And number five, I'm going with Frankenstein because Netflix is definitely getting a movie in this year, and Frankenstein seems best posed to get that spot. The fact that Del Toro is slipping into director's races is a good sign. I kind of thought that was going to happen. I said that in earlier videos. See, the thing is that Guillermo del Toro hates AI, which the industry that is voting for him also hates AI. So it's one of the reasons why that what is his name? Kevin something. you haven't seen him anywhere because what he's doing press, he says, I don't know why we can't use AI and eliminate extras. And he immediately eliminated himself from the best supporting actor race. So it's like, his publicist probably just jumped off the roof. I was like, oh my God, what did you just say? Um, Meanwhile, Del Toro, when he was asked about AI, said that he'd rather die than use AI. So I think that was the right answer. And you've seen Del Toro, who has been a big fanboy of movies and other movies and supporting them and championing them and holding and hosting, watch parties for other Oscar contenders in the past. He's earned a lot of goodwill. He's not somebody who just like goes away and is like a recluse. He's very much a champion of film, and this is his project, and it's Netflix's number one. Let's be honest; they're not even trying to campaign "Wake Up Dead Man." They're trying to figure out if Train Dreams or Jay Kelly, like which one of those two, if they got a second nomination, what would it be? Frankenstein is the clear front runner. It's got like all the tech potential below the line. So, and it could get Jacob Elordi. It even got Oscar Isaac at the Golden Globes. That won't happen at the Oscars, but it did get him. Oscar Isaac got a Golden Globe nomination. So, yeah, I have Frankenstein there, and then I want to slot at least one of the Neon movies. We may slot more than one, but it feels like weird that I haven't slotted at least one. So at number 6, we're gonna go ahead and slot It Was Just an Accident. I don't see this missing. Um, and I think Jafar Panahi's It Was Just an Accident feels like it's definitely getting one of the spots. I can't even explain it because it doesn't have the power of what I'm about to say. Um, this is pretty much going to be like a picture, director, international feature nominee with perhaps a screenplay. Like it might get 4. I don't think it gets above that. I don't think it goes above 4. Um, but editing would probably be interesting. Uh, a lone acting nomination, but it hasn't really picked up any steam anywhere. So I think it's looking at picture, director, screenplay, and international. So yeah, Neon knows what they're doing. They're campaigning. They're pushing for this. This is going to happen. It was just an accident. It's interesting how early they opened it too, because either they want it to surge on video on demand right around the time of the Oscars, and they're going to drop it or they're going to re-release it because they wanted to get it out there early, and they're sending out screeners. But you need people talking about the movie also. You need like regular people. You need people to be enthused about your film and it not feel like this thing that people are walking around going, what? What movie is that? So I kind of wonder if they're not trying to get it out before the nominations so that human beings are a little bit more aware if it was just an accident. Because post like Golden Globe nominations, people are now going to be like, okay, what's this movie that got nominated for Best Picture motion picture drama? So yeah, but right behind it, I'm putting Sentimental Value. And the only reason I put Sentimental Value below is because I think It Was Just an Accident has a better shot in director. I think if one of those two misses, it'll be Trier over Panahi. And I think that matters in terms of picture position. Every once in a while we get a coda where the director is just absent from the race, or Argo. Um, but most of the time, if you're going to be in contention to win, you need your director in the race. Sentimental Value is in there, but we also have some people who are just on the outside looking in, like Del Toro, Safdie. We have other international directors that they could go with, from The Secret Agent, No Other Choice. So, Surat, which is not out of the consideration. I could see Surat getting a director, but not a picture. You know what I'm saying? Like one of those weird, like Cold War type of things. So I've got Sentimental Value, and It Was Just an Accident, basically like neck and neck, because Neon's definitely getting at least 2 of these films in. It's happening. Just embrace yourself, prepare for it. We've had two international nominees the past 2 years. It's just this year they happen to be at least from the same studio. The question is, how many will we get? Will we get any more than these two? Because Cinema Value is going to get supporting actor, actress, and at least one supporting actress, probably two. And screenplay, maybe international. Something's gonna happen international. I don't know if Neon's gonna have all five. And I think people, when they fill out their ballot and they have to pick up five movies, I think people really are making choices in terms of when they get down to the final 15 about looking there and going, okay, so we're picking all Neon movies. Now, the problem with that is that, and this is why it worked at the Golden Globes and why it's still working, is even when I say that I think that there are people who are voting for four Neons and then one other, at least, or two others, is that if people keep voting for different Neon movies because of different tastes, Neon is still absorbing a bulk of the nominations. For people would have to leave off the same Neon movie for this to really matter. But it does kind of make you need to like rank them as to like which one's getting the most votes. Which one do I think the international branch is voting for the most? And it's possible that Sentimental Value with Elle Fanning in it, or Ellie Fanning. Can we teach people to read the names before they go on stage and announce the nominations? Just have like a little, I mean, they're about to find out what they are anyway. Can we just have an aside with them in advance and be like, here are some names you might need to know? Elle. Jafar. Amelie. Anyway, so yeah, I wonder if Elle Fanning in an international, it's sort of like it's cool to see Jeremy Irons in Palestine 36, but I kind of wonder if that doesn't hinder Palestine 36 a little bit. Having, and they're like, is this really anyway. So that's 6 and 7. I don't think either one of them are going to win Best Picture, but Cinema Value could get supporting actor. Absolutely. I would probably say Stellan has the front runner spot to win. So, what's next? I have 3 more spots left. Oh my God. OMG, Becky. What's getting the final spots? So, before we get into it, let's see what else is still in the race. So, I have the rest of the Neon movies, The Secret Agent, No Other Choice, and Surratt. I don't think Surratt's a Best Picture play. I think No Other Choice is struggling to be a Best Picture play, but it's not impossible. Um, I think if that movie takes off, what's interesting to me about No Other Choice from a blind standpoint, and if you're asking me why do I have faith in No Other Choice, is because it's the only movie Neon has faith in. Okay, so Neon, I got into a bitching fest with Neon over their lack of accessibility for their films. The only film that they've chosen to audio describe of the 5 international films is No Other Choice. So that's the film that they think has the most mainstream appeal. That's the film that they think plays the best. They've chosen even Sentimental Value with Elle Fanning in it and Stellan Skarsgård, 2 recognizable actors to American audiences. They didn't put audio description on that, even though it's got like a chunk of it is already in English. And it was just an accident, which was the Palme d'Or winner and seems like a front runner for Best Picture. They didn't bother to put audio description on that either. They felt like the one that was the most marketable film was No Other Choice. The one with the highest potential for blind people to go see was No Other Choice. So there must be a reason for that. So I'm not going to write it off because I don't know what Neon's planning to pull off at the last minute. So I think it and Secret Agent are both in play, but I don't think Surratt. There's no way that film just leaps into the race, all the way into the Best Picture race. It'd be lucky to get an international feature nomination. I don't think Neon's even pushing for it as hard as the other films. So there's that. Um, there's the other Netflix films, Train Dreams and Jay Kelly. Nothing else is really worth mentioning. I'm sorry, nothing else is worth mentioning. I know. You have a friend and they think Wake Up Dead Man is still in play. I will tell you, I was supposed to get a screener for Wake Up Dead Man, and Netflix never gave it to me. They didn't even care. I got screener for Ballad of a Small Player. I got um In Your Dreams. I got Left Hand Girl. I got Cover Up, which I haven't put out yet because that film doesn't come out till Christmas. But I've seen Cover Up already. Um, and yeah, they didn't give me Wake Up Dead Man. And I got Jay Kelly like the day before. Like it wasn't really helpful because somewhere like within the 24-hour, I never got Wake Up Dead Man. So I don't think Netflix gives a shit about Wake Up Dead Man. I don't think they're even trying anymore. Like it failed at Critics' Choice, it failed at Globes, and they're just like, you know what, guys? Rest in peace. I think they're pulling their thick campaign from Wake Up Dead Man. So if you have a friend, just laugh at them every time they go, Wake Up Dead Man in Best Picture. Just go, and then just walk away. Um, so is it Train Dreams with Jay Kelly? That's tough. We're gonna get back to that. We still have Avatar. I'm not gonna say Avatar's out of the race. I'm not gonna say Wicked's out of the race. We have Avatar and Wicked. Those are both here. Those are both viable contenders for the race. I don't think A24 has anything else though. I think A24 is pretty much done at this point. They don't really have like a sneak attack. Um, they don't seem to be doing anything with Pelion, which might have gotten them a sneak attack, but no, they're not really doing anything with any of their other films. The only film that has a legitimate shot at a nomination is Marty Supreme. Warner Brothers doesn't really have a shot at getting a third Best Picture nomination. I don't even know what it would be. So that's not happening. Focus has Begonia. I mentioned that. Begonia is absolutely still in play. I've seen Song Song Blue. It's a lovely film. I don't think it's a Best Picture play. I like it more than I think other people do. I would not be mad at all if Kate Hudson suddenly slid into the actress race over a couple of other people who she's up against. I don't think she's in my top five, but I also, she's not in my, like, she's not completely off my long list. So the rest of the films, like Anemone and Finino, they have two films, Hamnet and Begonia. And the question is whether or not Begonia will get in. Sony Pictures Classics apparently has a movie. It's called Blue Moon. I didn't know it was a Best Picture play until the Globes made it one. I think most people are scratching their heads going, huh, okay, I don't know what to do with that. But I guess I don't think Blue Moon's getting the nomination here. I think Blue Moon's nomination says a lot about Wicked. I think everybody who's pointed that out is absolutely right. That a whole bunch of people decided to vote for Blue Moon who didn't vote for Wicked. So, and the positive thing is, like I said, the precursors, they tell people what to watch and what to vote for. And Blue Moon just got a huge vote of confidence out of nowhere. Now, I didn't even bring up Nouveau Vogue because I don't think Netflix is. I mean, they might give a little bit more money to that campaign, but they don't want to mess up the campaigns for Train Dreams and Jay Kelly, which legitimately have a chance. If you notice, like Nouveau Vogue didn't get an acting nomination, and it didn't even get into non-English, which is not like the Oscars, where you have to be submitted by the company because the country, because Nouvelle Vogue is not being submitted by France. They're submitting, it was just an accident. So yeah, it has a really low nomination potential for them, and I think they see that that was just like a they got to see that that was just a. I think they basically the fact that Nouvelle got in there and not Wake Up Dead Man killed Wake Up Dead Man. That's why I didn't get a screener for it because they're like, I don't care anymore. Like, what is life? Um, so I think that's as far as Nouvelle goes. But Blue Moon, I don't know. Sony Pictures Classics. What else are they running? Private Life hasn't really jump started and gotten anywhere. They do have some international contenders. They have a couple animated features. Nuremberg has not taken off for them anywhere. So yeah. Eleanor the Great, June Squibb can't get anywhere. They don't really have anything. All they have is Ethan Hawke and Blue Moon, and that's what they're running with. So they might as well push this in picture. Um, what else did I forget anything? I think that's probably it. Yeah, Springsteen is not happening. That's a non-starter of a movie for Pitcher. That movie died. Uh, I think that's probably it. I went through the studios in my head. Oh, Amazon and GM doesn't have anything, which is sad. They just don't. After the Hunt is Dead, Hedda's not getting a nomination. Hedda has a better shot at getting at least a nomination than I think After the Hunt does, because After the Hunt's biggest contender is Julia Roberts, and that race is tight. Whereas Hedda can get into like a tech category, it could just costume design. And you're just like, oh, Hedda, cool, good for you. I mean, it actually has below the line potential to sneak in somewhere and get Amazon that nomination. Belen could possibly be the fifth spot for international if people are, I don't know, exploratory, but I think it's too tight. Belen's going to get the short list, and that's about it. It's going to be hard to beat Voice of Hamajab in that for that fifth spot if anything is going to get that's not Neon. So yeah, I think those are the films that are worth nominating. So of the final, which ones would I pick? Well, that's a great that's a great question. Um, and here's my answer. I don't think Wicked is dead. I think it is on life support. And before I give Neon four spots, I'm gonna leave Wicked on the race. So we're gonna leave Wicked in the race. I'm gonna give Neon a third spot and say we get three international films because the strength is there. The question is, do I trust Neon's perceived preservation of No Other Choice, which did get a Golden Globe nomination for Best Picture? It did get Best Actor. I mean, it has a higher profile now, which will get people to watch it. But so did Secret Agent. Is it gonna happen for Brazil 2 years in a row? For Secret Agent? Oh god, that's tough. It's gonna be one of those two. It could be both. But for right now, I'm gonna give the other spot to Secret Agent and say No Other Choice. I don't know. The Brazilians last year really made it happen. They have one more film this year, and it's Secret Agent. So for the final spot, I'm down to giving Netflix either a second spot or Begonia. I think Avatar's not getting a nomination this year, unless the audiences surge to Avatar and we all fake our surprise again and be like, "Oh my god, it's amazing!" again. Uh, the early reception on Avatar was, I mean, it didn't get a Globe nomination, Critics' Choice. It didn't really care. Um, if you didn't hear about Critics' Choice, it wasn't actually it was a write-in because it didn't really screen in time, but it screened the night before for most of Critics' Choice, and a lot of people had voted already. So Avatar just waited until the dead last second, which kind of happened for me with something else, for something else that I vote for. So yeah, Avatar, and you of course you have to go physically to a screening because the movie's not out yet. They're not going to put it on uh, the Disney screening app. I can't think of what it's called now. Debut. Um, but yeah, or on Critics' Choice has their own screening app. I doubt it was there. They want people to see Avatar on the big screen. So yeah, the low counts there don't necessarily mean anything. But Golden Globes, I think they probably did get to the Golden Globe voters, and Golden Globe and the voters were just kind of like, oh man, we like this international movies a lot better. So, um, yeah, it's between Begonia and a second spot for Netflix, and I don't think Train Dreams or Jay Kelly is necessarily exceedingly obvious. So these films are all kind of jockeying around for third place. I don't think Wicked loses its spot. I think Wicked gets in. I think Wicked has enough fans that it'll get in barely. It's not going to win, but it'll slide into that spot. Um, if I had to look at what their potentials are, Train Dreams has the least amount of nomination potential to it. If I think, if we're being honest, so is, I guess Jay Kelly does too. They both do. Begonia, I don't know, man. This is tough. Um, my gut instinct says Train Dreams is the little indie that could, and it's gonna push in and get what? Original song. I don't think Joel Edgerton is a lock for the top 5 in supporting actor. I think he's lucky to be there. I don't see it breaking into director. I don't know that it's a lock for screenplay. I don't know what Train Dreams gets. Train Dreams, and I think picture an original song is a bit of a stretch. So if I pick Jay Kelly, what do I think Jay Kelly is getting? Adam Sandler. Okay. Uh, sure. Maybe. I could see that. It feels a little bit less weird than picture an original song. Um, and then for Begonia, what do I think Begonia is getting? Picture an original screenplay. I mean, adapted screenplay. So we've seen that before. We've seen picture screenplay combinations. I don't know that Noah Baumbach's Jay Kelly's going to get recognized in screenplay, and I don't know that Train Dreams is going to get recognized in screenplay. But I do know that Begonia has a really decent shot at getting nominated in adapted screenplay. And we have seen that has been done before. That's Women Talking. That's Past Lives. We've seen that combination where you are nominated for picture screenplay, picture screenplay, picture screenplay. So I'm going to give the 10th spot to Begonia because despite the fact that I think Adam Sandler will get a nomination for Jay Kelly, and I think Train Dreams is definitely getting song and might get Joel Edgerton, I think Begonia has the clearest path to a nomination right now. So I think Focus gets 2 features and not Netflix. Especially considering there's going to be a little bit of a jockeying of which film gets it, Jay Kelly or Train Dreams. Neither one of them got the Globe. So they're both equally kind of weak right now. Begonia did get a Globe nomination. So those are my 10. If I had to briefly talk about the other races, because we spent a lot of time on this and I kind of talked about what is going to happen in other races, I would say director Paul Thomas Anderson, Ryan Coogler, Jafar Panahi, and then it kind of gets interesting. I think Del Toro is going to mess up this race. I think he's going to get in and he's going to knock someone out. And for right now, I'm going to say there's no legal requirement to nominate a female director. So I'm going to go with Del Toro and I'm going to keep Inoki Trier for sentimental value right now and say that international directors really land here and that people kind of just forget about Hamnet and Chloe Zhao. They're not like, oh my God, did we put a female in our top 5? I don't think they're doing that. I think for a while maybe, but I don't know that this year that they're going to feel, because she's won an Oscar before. So it's not like they're expanding her. They're expanding to like new female directors. I think we might have a sausage fest in actor here. We also have Josh Safdie, who is not out of the race either. So there's like 2 people that I had to leave out, and plus, yeah, Secret Agent, no other choice. I mean, who knows? They could really love international film this year and knock another director out. But right now, I think Del Toro is the surprise. Is the, oh my God, he made it all the way to, yeah. So for actor, well, of course, it's Chalamet and DiCaprio, but it's also Ethan Hawke. I think those 3 are in. I think Wagner Moura is in because I think he's going to win. I think Wagner Moura, if he just breaks the race, he wins. I think he's going to break ahead of Ethan Hawke. Watch that conversation change up a little bit. It'll be more about Wagner Moura versus Ethan Hawke than it will be DiCaprio versus Chalamet pretty quickly. And then for the 5th place spot, I have pretty much not moved on Dwayne Johnson. I have pretty much locked him in there the whole time. And I haven't dropped him. And he was one of my consistent predictions. And the Globes nominating also Emily Blunt when it was completely unnecessary shows that he still has some steam. He still has, and I think from his own peers, We're going to see him at SAG, and I think we're going to see him at the Oscars. So I'm going to pick Dwayne Johnson for the Smashing Machine for my fifth place spot over Michael B. Jordan. I know that's tough, and I know that sucks. But I think if I will acknowledge that I think Michael B. Jordan is in sixth place, um, I think it's between those people. Everybody else after that. That's why one of the reasons I had a hard time with Joel Edgerton, because I'm like, what happens with, does Joel Edgerton knock out Dwayne Johnson? Does he knock out Ethan Hawke? Like, who does he knock out? I don't know that he's strong enough to knock anyone else, although he's never been nominated, so it would be lovely. However, if I predict Chalamet, DiCaprio, Hawke, Mora, and Dwayne Johnson, only DiCaprio and Chalamet have been nominated before. Well, Ethan Hawke has. Sorry, I forgot Trading Day. It's been a long time. So three of those people have been nominated before, with DiCaprio being the only one that's won. So are they going to knock out DiCaprio? It's happened before. Wouldn't that be a surprise? To not see DiCaprio in Best Actor. For him to just once again fail to miss while his film's in Best Picture. Dude can't catch a break. But that's the actor. Actress, Rose Byrne, Jessie Buckley. Man, it gets tough after that. I feel like those two are the most obvious. Renata Reinsve for Sentimental Value. I feel like she's definitely in. I don't think Cynthia's going to get it this year. I think Wicked is losing some steam. Originally, I was thinking it was going to be Cynthia, not Ariana. Now I think it's vice versa. I don't know, having some issues with that. But, God, final two spots. I don't think there's a push for Emma Stone. I just don't know how many people are like, oh my God, we got to get Emma Stone another nomination. I think it helps Tessa Thompson that people will watch Hedda because she's picked up a couple of nominations places. I think the fact that people are validating Chase Infinity by nominating her helps. I think rest in peace, Sydney Sweeney. Sydney Sweeney. Could this be Jennifer Lawrence for Die My Love? Maybe. God. I don't know that Chase Infinity is a lead actress in One Battle, and I don't know, and she's a breakthrough, and she's really young. I don't know if that's going to happen for her in that race. So, Mubi really doesn't have anything to campaign except I My Love and Jennifer Lawrence at this point. So if they're going to spend any money at all, they're going to push Jennifer Lawrence. Die My Love is very divisive of the movie, and so is If I Had Legs I'd Kick You. But at least with Rose Byrne, people seem to really be getting behind that performance. So, I don't know. Let's go Jennifer Lawrence for Die My Love. And I guess I feel like I'm trying to find validation in not picking Chase Infinity. But I don't, because I don't see Kate Hudson surging. I don't see Emma Stone. Ava Victor, that was a nice nomination for Sorry Baby. I don't think it translates into an Oscar nomination. I don't think Julia Roberts is getting in here. Tessa Thompson would be a nice surprise for Hedda. But I don't know that her film, because the thing is everybody's going to be watching One Battle, and everybody will have seen Wicked. So like those nominations versus some of these others where you're like, I don't know if everybody saw it. I don't know if everybody loved it. Kind of becomes a little bit hard to push them over. And it could be Emma Stone for Begonia, I guess, over some of these others. But I guess I have to just relax and give it to Chase Infinity. I did have her in supporting. I thought she was going to have a better chance at supporting, but I kind of talked myself out of that because I'm like, I don't know, man. This is kind of a mixed bag of a race currently. And I think this could change. The fifth place spot feels very much like up in the air. Hell, the fourth place spot feels kind of up in the air. But I feel like there's three locks here. You're going to see for sure Rose, Jessie, and Renata. And then the other two spots are going to keep swapping. And everybody's going to have different opinions on them. Supporting actor, Stellan. Benicio, Paul, Sean, and the question is Adam Sandler and Jacob Elordi. I'm gonna go with Adam Sandler. I just Jacob's young and he is playing the creature. And I think it's gonna net him some nominations, but he's gonna end up like what's his face from May December. And just where it's like it feels like he's getting the nomination and then all of a sudden he just doesn't. So I think Adam Sandler will finally get his nomination this year for Jay Kelly. Um, I don't know. A spoiler in this race would be somebody from Sinners, I guess, getting in here. But I don't know where else the spoiler comes from. This category's kind of weak in terms of depth of well presumed depth of I should say, because there are some really great performances. It's just people just don't they've kind of circled around just a handful here of the same performances. Supporting actress Ariana Grande, both sentimental value actresses Elle and Ingrid are going to get in. Tiana Taylor and Amy Madigan. I think that's it. I think basically what you saw at Globes minus Emily Blunt. The fact that the Marty Supreme actresses have had a really hard time getting in has kind of just locked this race in for me. And Regina Hall seems to have a hard time getting off the ground. I think this race is pretty much solid. The only question would be if we get a surprise from, you know, somewhere, just like way out of left field. Um, yeah. And Testament Van Lee, man, like, I mean, it just the fact that its whole campaign is riding on Amanda Seyfried, so it's kind of like Hedda or Julia Roberts pushing Amanda Seyfried. I just remembered I forgot I left her off, but I wasn't gonna put her on because Fox Searchlight is doing some weird stuff with their campaigning, and I mean, Rental Family has died for them. Is This Thing On has died for them. I don't know Testament Van Lee unless they're just going to throw suddenly $50 million in terms of campaign budget money at it. It's not really, it opens at Christmas, but this isn't the kind of film that you're going to see suddenly do banner business at the box office. It's not really getting supported anywhere else. Like, it would be lucky to get a nomination in tech for something, but it didn't get original song nomination. It's a musical. So I don't I don't really know what to do with Testament of Van Lee. Yeah, I mean, Amanda Seyfried got in a field of 12 between drama and comedy. But when we get down to five, I don't know, man. I don't know how many, I don't know if she can sustain. I think Fox Searchlight may just get, nothing this year, which is really sad. But anyway, that's it for those races. Oh, you're here, so what the fuck? Animated feature, K-pop, Arco, Lil Amelie, God, I'm trying to think of the other films. Zootopia 2, and I don't think Demon Slayer gets in. In Your Dreams, Leo, I don't know. I'm gonna go with Endless Cookie and just throw in a random nominee there and just be like, I don't know. I've seen it. It was interesting. It was intriguing. Let's see what it can do in animated feature. I think it's going to be that, or like the fifth nominee is just going to be like out of left field. It's just going to come in all of a sudden. I don't think it's going to be Elio. It might be, but that's two Disney nominations. I don't know that people need to do that in their lives anymore. Maybe Elio. International, I would pick right now. I would pick the four. I would leave off Surat and I would say Voice of Hammerjob. I think there are other strong international features, but I feel like the Voice of Hammerjob is gonna get in. It's gonna get enough votes on its own. Um, and I think it gets into the race. I think it kills Surat. Documentary feature, my God. I don't know, but this is gonna be like The Perfect Neighbor. I don't think 2000 Miles to Andrica is gonna get in here. I think it's gonna lose its spot. I'd love to see Come See Me in the Good Light here, but I don't think that's gonna happen. Maybe the Alabama Solution could get in here. Um, Documentary is hard because I have to know what the shortlist is because the shortlist is weird. Never mind, I'm not gonna do documentary. I'm just gonna predict The Perfect Neighbor and say that's a lock for sure, and maybe Alabama Solution. But yeah, Perfect Neighbor is definitely getting in. That's the one that I would bet money on. I'd be shocked if that didn't get in. It's like surprise, it would shock me, blow my mind, especially with Netflix behind it. I don't know how they. I mean, it's got a juggernaut behind it. It's been well received everywhere. It's been getting nominations outside of the documentary category and like editing and stuff. So I just don't know how it could possibly. It could get an editing nomination. It could be. It seriously could get nominated outside of its category. So those are the ones I don't feel like doing the rest of them. Anyway, that's it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. I'll see you guys on the other side.